In math today, we're going to continue studying shapes with the area inside and the perimeter around the shape.
Math Learning Target 3.m.5. Find the area of a rectangle with whole number side lengths by modeling with unit squares and show that the area is the same as would be found by multiplying the side lengths. Identify and draw rectangles with the same perimeter and different areas, or with the same area and different perimeters. Today the focus will be on identify and draw rectangles with the same area and different perimeters.
Awesome. So as Senor Mejia is sharing, we're going to work on identifying and drawing rectangles and finding the area and perimeter. Okay, we've got a few more friends joining us. Welcome. Today we are focused on area and perimeter.
Hi.
Welcome back. Our next thing that we're going to do is watch this learning video together about shapes and how they can sometimes have the same area like yesterday. Sometimes they have the same perimeter. Let's take a look. Students are focused, listening, and looking so we can learn today.
Can rectangles have the same area but different perimeters? Let's find out. In a video game, you have 16 castle tiles to make a rectangular castle, and 16 water tiles for a moat. How can you completely surround the castle with water? You need to make a rectangular-shaped castle that can be completely surrounded by water tiles. How is the castle tile different from the water tile?
So in the video, we're given a situation that you might find during a real world problem. So that might be something like playing a video game and you are trying to make a castle floor. You're going to surround it with water.
The castle tile is a square and the water tile is a rectangle.
The castle tiles represent the area and the water tiles represent the perimeter.
Make rectangles that have an area of 16 square units. Find the perimeter of each rectangle.
All right, so if we have 16 square tiles, then we can put the water tiles around the castle, and let's try it.
Use 16 castle tiles to make a rectangle. Then use as many blue water tiles as needed to make a border around the rectangle.
So this task is just like yesterday. We moved shapes and we made rectangles of the same area but different perimeters. All right, we'll get focused on this again. We're going to make a rectangle using our 16 tiles. So I'm thinking about how I can make 16. And I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So I'm going to put 4 in each row. And then I can make 4 rows and count up to 16. So now I have 4 plus 4 is 8 square units. And I can see that down here. It's counting my area for me. I'm going to keep going, add 4 more. 4 in each row. Now I've got 12 square units. I'm almost there to 16. Now I've got 16 square units in my rectangle. My next step is to use the blue water tiles to make a border around. So I'm going to make a border around it. And it's counting my perimeter right now. So right now I've got 4 units for my perimeter. 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going with perimeter. Remember, perimeter measures around. Keep going with my perimeter. Measuring the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. All the way around. Awesome. So my perimeter is also 16 because it's 4 plus 4 for my lengths plus 4 plus 4 for my widths. Awesome.
Let's try it. Find the area of this rectangle. A equals 1 times 16. The area equals 16 square units. Find the perimeter. P equals, open parenthesis, 2 times 16, close parenthesis, plus, open parenthesis, 2 times 1, close parenthesis. The perimeter equals 34 units. Do the water tiles surround this rectangle? How do you know?
So what the video is showing us is that sometimes shapes can have the same area, but a different perimeter. The shape that I built had 4 rows and 4 columns. That's very different than the shape they have built here. I notice that they built a shape that has 16 in each row and only 1 row. But my shape and their shape both have an area of 16 square units. This is the skill that we are focused on today. To find our task on Seesaw today, please click on Activities, Assign to Class folder, Blue Math, and our lesson is called Lesson 16.5, Same Area, Different Perimeter. Please find that now. Slide 1 says, with your teacher. Please click on slide 2. And you will follow along with the teacher as we do our lesson. The directions say to use grid paper, that means paper with lines like what you see, to draw 2 different rectangles with the given area. Tell the dimensions and the perimeter of each rectangle, and tell which one has the smaller perimeter. That's a lot of directions, so we're going to do this together. Whatever I do, you are going to do on your slide too. Our problem is number 3, and it says 6 square feet. My directions tell me to draw 2 different rectangles with the given area. That means I need to make 2 different shapes that have an area of 6 square feet. We're going to do this together. I'm thinking about 6. I know that I can make a shape that's 1 row with 6 in it. I'm going to choose green. And all the way to the left, I'm going to draw 1 square unit, 1 row. And I'm going to put 6 squares in that row. So here's my first square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 square units to my rectangle. I'm going to finish my rectangle. noticing that my lengths and widths are equal. Top to bottom is equal, left and right is equal. This is a shape with 6 square units. That's what the problem asked me to do. Now I need to tell the dimensions. That means I need to label my length and my width. I know that there are 6 square units in here, but I'm going to go ahead and count to make sure that my length is 6. I'm going to count the lines like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My length is 6. My width is on the other sides. I only have 1 square unit in the row. I'm sorry, in the column. I only have 1 in the column, so I can count this as 1. I have now labeled my length and my width. After I have drawn a rectangle with 6 square units, I labeled my length and width. After I did that, the directions tell me to say the perimeter of each shape. So I need to find the perimeter of this shape. I remember that perimeter is the distance around a shape when we measure it. The distance around the shape. So I need to add together my length, width, and width. I know my length is 6, so I've got 2 6s that I can put into my equation. 6 plus 6 . And now I know my widths. I've got 1 on one side, a unit of 1 on the other side. So I can add my widths to my equation. 6 plus 6 plus 1 plus 1. And we will figure out the perimeter. If I add 6 plus 6, that's 12, 13, 14, I count on. The perimeter for this is 14 units. Whatever Mrs. Renee has, you should have on yours. For question 3, it directed me to create 2 rectangles. We just did 1. I now need to create a different rectangle that also has an area of 6 square feet. My first rectangle, I did 1 row with 6 square units in it. I now know that I cannot use 1 times 6. I cannot do 1 times 6 because I already did that over here. So now I'm thinking about if the area is 6, what are my other factors that I could use to get an area of 6? I can't do 1 times 6. I see Gloria has an idea. What could we do, Gloria?
2 times 3.
Great thinking, Gloria. We're going to try the factors of 2 and 3 to get us to an area of 6. So I'm going to choose a different color. I'm going to do purple. I'm a purple girl. I like that. So I'm going to do 2 rows. So 1 row, 2 rows. I've got 2 squares in my rows. And I need 3 square units in each row. So I'm going to draw my line over counting 3 square units. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, counting over 3 square units in each row. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to close off my rectangle. I'm going to count to make sure this one has 6 square units. I'm going to count to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We did it correctly. So at first, I created a rectangle that was 1 row with 6 squares in it. Now we have a different one. We have 2 rows, 3 in both rows. Next, we need to tell the dimensions. That means we need to label our length and width. Gloria has helped us out understanding the length and width by saying 2 times 3 equals 6. I already know my width is 2 rows. So over here is a measure of 2. That means on the other side, it's also 2. Gloria told us that there's 3 square units in each row. That means the length is 3 units. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. To find the perimeter of this shape, I need to add my length plus width plus width. I'm going to put it into my equation at the bottom. I know that my lengths are 3, so I have 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Now we can add it up to find the whole perimeter. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. What will be the distance around? Distance around the shape. Who's got the perimeter? Man, Gloria, you are on fire today. Gloria, what would be the perimeter?
10.
We have 3 plus 3, which is 6, plus 4. That would be 10 units is the whole perimeter around this rectangle. Great job. Check that your example matches mine. Slide 4 is number 7. It says, use grid paper to draw 2 different rectangles with the given area. Number 7 says 9 square inches. You are going to create 2 different rectangles with 9 square inches. And I want you to think about what those shapes will look like. If you have time in your breakout room, I want you to label the length and width and tell me the dimensions. When we come back, we will do perimeter together. This is your job in your breakout rooms.
This meeting is being recorded.
If we are asked to have 9 square inches, we could have a width of 1 and a length of 9. We could have 1 row with 9 squares in it. To find the perimeter of this one, we would add the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. That would be 9 plus 9 plus 1 plus 1. That would be a total of 20 units. I also saw friends who thought of other factors to equal 9 as a product. Instead of 1 times 9, I saw friends who thought of 3 times 3 equals 9. That means they would have drawn something like this: 3 rows and 3 columns. Inside would be 9 square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then these friends labeled their length and width. 1, 2, 3 for the widths. 1, 2, 3 for the lengths. To add our perimeter together, they would add length plus width plus width. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. When you add all the side lengths together, we get the distance around the shape. That's perimeter. 4 groups of 3 is 12 units. Please check your work. Today, for your independent work, you will begin on slide 10. Starting on slide 10, you are given directions just like we've been doing together. It says describe a different rectangle with the same area. So here is the first part you need to do. They give you a shape with a length and a width. You need to find the area of the shape and the perimeter. Then you will think about a different shape with the same area. It will look different than 6 times 4. Remember what we've been learning. Our shapes will look different, but they will have the same amount of squares. Your job is to start on slide 10 and finish the slides, showing your knowledge. And number 14 is a challenge. Give this one a try if you can. Then you will reflect on your success with today's math skill. You need to work starting on slide 10. You need to do 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Ashley, what's your question?
So we're not going to do like slide 8 or 7 or 6?
No, good question. You only need to start at slide 10 and do the rest. 10 through 15. Good question. When you are done reflecting, when you get all of these slides done, starting on slide 10, you may push the green check to submit.